Hey guys, welcome back. Many students, those who are going to write 10th board exams, are worried about what are the most important questions for board exams and how to write answers in order to score full marks. Dear students, both the aspects are covered in this video. Watch the video till the end and write your valuable comments. In this video, I'll be discussing some of the most important questions from the topic excretion from Life Processes chapter of Class 10 Biology. Let's begin the session with question number 1, that is, what are the methods used by plants to get rid of excretory products? And this is a frequently asked question for 3 marks. Let's discuss how to write the answer for this question. Okay, we can write the subheading like this: methods used by plants to get rid of excretory products, and the answer can be written in a point-wise manner. First, plants can get rid of excess water by transpiration. Okay, so excess water is a waste substance in the plant. Now, transpiration is loss of water from the aerial parts of the plants. Okay, so excess water in the plants is lost through transpiration. This is one of the method. Now, for other wastes, plants use the fact that many of their tissues consist of dead cells. Okay, many of the plant tissues consist of dead cells, and that they can even lose some parts such as leaves. Okay, so some parts such as leaves are lost, they fall down, and many cells are dead cells. So these facts are used by the plants to remove the waste materials from their body. Okay, many plant waste products are stored in cellular vacuoles. Plant cell vacuoles are generally large vacuoles. Okay, so they can store the waste materials as well in them. Okay, waste products may be stored in leaves that fall off. Yes, in spring leaves fall down, old leaves fall. Okay, so like that, this is one of the strategy to remove the waste from the plant body. So waste products may be stored in the leaves that fall off. Other waste products are stored as resins and gums, especially in old xylem. These resins are usually mixtures of organic compounds. Okay, these are usually mixtures of organic compounds, and these resins are secreted by the plants for their protective benefits in response to injury. Okay, generally these resins protect the plants from pathogens and injuries. Okay, now plants also excrete some waste substances into the soil around them. Okay, so these are the different strategies used by the plants to get rid of excretory products. This is one of the most important question for 3 marks for board exams. Now, let's proceed to the next question, that is question number 2. Compare alveoli in the lungs and nephrons in the kidneys with respect to their structure and functioning. So this question can be asked for 5 marks. Okay, now let's discuss about the answer for this question. So this is a comparison between alveoli present in the lungs and nephrons present in the kidneys. Structural aspects and functional aspects are compared between these two structures. Let's start. Alveoli structure. These alveoli are tiny balloon-like structures in the lungs. They can also be called tiny sac-like structures or tiny balloon-like structures present in the lungs. Okay, but nephrons are tiny tubular structures. Okay, present in the kidneys. Okay, now the walls of the alveoli are 1 cell thick, and it contains an extensive network of capillaries. Okay, so 1 cell thick walls are present in the alveoli, and also they are extensively supplied with capillaries inside these alveoli. Okay, now nephrons are made up of glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, and a long renal tubule. So these are the different parts present in the structure of nephron. In the alveolar structure, here one cell thick, okay, walls are present and which are richly supplied with the capillaries, but in case of nephrons, glomerulus, Bowman's capsule and long renal tubule are present. Okay, now simple squamous epithelium is found in the alveoli and simple cuboidal epithelium is found in the tubular parts of the nephron. Okay, so these are the structural aspects, structural differences between alveoli and nephron. Okay, now let's discuss about the functional differences between these two structures. Now functionally how they are different, let's discuss. Okay, so exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place between the blood in the capillaries that surround the alveoli and air present in the alveoli. So between blood in the capillaries that surround the alveoli and air present in the alveoli, so between these two the exchange of gases, exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide take place. So that is the function of alveoli. But in case of nephrons, nephrons filter out waste products from the body by forming urine and regulate the concentration of water and salts in the body. That is what we call osmoregulation. Now carbon dioxide is removed from the blood in lungs. This is the function of alveoli. And if we discuss here about the nephrons, nitrogenous wastes such as urea and uric acid are removed from the blood in kidneys. Okay, so here carbon dioxide is a waste product and here nitrogenous wastes like urea and uric acid are the waste products which are removed from the body. So this is how we can compare alveoli of lungs and nephrons present in the kidneys, both structurally and functionally. Okay, this question can be asked for 5 marks, one of the most important question. Now moving to the next question, that is question number 3. What is an artificial kidney? How is blood purified in an artificial kidney? Again, this question can be asked for 5 marks. Okay, for first part of this question, what is an artificial kidney? The answer can be written like this. An artificial kidney is a device to remove nitrogenous waste products from the blood through dialysis. I repeat this statement once again. An artificial kidney is a device to remove nitrogenous waste products from the blood through dialysis. What is this dialysis? This is nothing but it is a separation of particles in liquid on the basis of differences in their ability to pass through a membrane. Okay, so there will be a membrane. Okay, so particles are passing through this membrane. Particles are passing through this membrane based on their ability to pass through the membrane. Okay, so that is what we call dialysis. Okay, and here on this basis the blood is purified in artificial kidney. Artificial kidneys contain a number of tubes with a semi-permeable lining. This is nothing but the membrane. Okay, now so semi-permeable membrane is present which is made up of cellophane tubes. Okay, it is made up of cellophane tubes. Okay, now this membrane is semi-permeable membrane, and here this is suspended in a tank filled with dialysing fluid. Okay, this fluid has the same osmotic pressure as blood except that it is devoid of nitrogenous waste. So the dialysing fluid present in this artificial kidney is devoid of nitrogenous waste, but the blood is containing nitrogenous waste. That is the difference between the blood plasma and the dialysing fluid used in the artificial kidney. Now the patient's blood is passed through these tubes. During this passage, the waste products from the blood pass into dialysing fluid by diffusion. Okay, if we consider this as, okay, these are the, let's suppose, tubes. These are the tubes. Let's suppose they are made up of, okay, semi-permeable membrane. Okay, just let's suppose Okay, now, and this is a dialysing chamber. It is filled with the dialysing fluid, let's suppose. Okay, this is filled with dialysing fluid. Okay, now the blood is passing here. Okay, the blood is passing, this is like this, blood is flowing, okay, inside. Okay, when the blood is flowing inside, the nitrogenous wastes present in that blood, okay, they are diffusing into the dialysing fluid like this. Okay, nitrogenous wastes are diffused into dialysing fluid. So like this, the blood is purified. Okay, now after this process, okay, the patient's blood is passed through these tubes like this. Okay, during this passage, the waste products that are nitrogenous waste from the blood pass into the dialysing fluid by diffusion, and this is how the blood is purified. This purified blood is pumped back into the patient. So this is the procedure of purifying the blood by using artificial kidney. Okay, one of the most important question for board exam. So artificial kidney is a device to remove nitrogenous waste products from the blood through dialysis, and in the dialysis process, nitrogenous waste materials present in the blood will diffuse into the dialysing fluid. Okay, and as a result, the blood is purified. This purified blood is again injected into the patient, and this dialysing fluid is thrown out, and the fresh dialysing fluid is used again. So this is how the blood is purified in artificial kidney. Now moving to the next question, that is question number 4. What are the different structures present in human excretory system? This question can be asked for 2 marks, and the answer for this question is, you can write the subheading like this: the different structures in human excretory system are a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra. So these are the 4 different types of structures present in human excretory system: 1 pair of kidneys, 1 pair of ureters, a urinary bladder, and urethra. Now moving to the next question, that is question number 5. Where are the kidneys located in human beings? Okay, so this question can be asked for 1 mark, and the answer for this question is, kidneys are located in the abdomen, 1 on either side of the backbone. I repeat the answer once again: kidneys are located in the abdomen, 1 on either side of the backbone. Okay, now moving to the next question, that is question number 6. What is the structural and functional unit of kidneys? Okay, explain the mechanism of urine formation in humans. So again, this is one of the very important question for 5 marks. Okay, and the answer for this question, first part of the question, what is structural and functional unit of kidneys? For this, the answer is, the structural and functional unit of kidneys is nephron. This is the answer for the first part of the question. Now moving to the second part of the question, explain the mechanism of urine formation in humans. For this, the answer you can write like this. You can write a subheading: mechanism of urine formation in humans, and we can explain this in a point-wise manner. The first point, the formation of urine involves the following processes: glomerular filtration or ultrafiltration of the blood plasma, reabsorption, and secretion. So these are the 3 steps in the mechanism of urine formation. The first step is glomerular filtration. Glomerulus is a network of capillaries. Glomerulus is a network of capillaries. Okay, and this network of capillaries, okay, is playing important role in filtration of blood plasma. Okay, reabsorption and secretion, these are the other 2 steps which occur in different parts of the tubule of nephron. Okay, now here the first step in urine formation is the filtration of blood. On an average, 1100 to 1200 ml of blood is filtered by the kidneys per minute. Okay, so per minute 1100 to 1200 ml of blood is filtered. So this first step is glomerular filtration or ultrafiltration, and because of this, okay, in one day 180 liters of filtrate is formed. So the initial filtrate formed in kidneys in one day is 180 liters. Okay, now some substances in the initial filtrate such as glucose, amino acids, salts, major amount of water are selectively reabsorbed as the urine flows along the tube. Okay, this step prevents loss of water, nutrients and ions from the body. So the second step in the mechanism of urine formation is reabsorption. So this is selective reabsorption. Okay, actually some substances in the initial filtrate such as glucose, okay, amino acids, salts, large amount of water, they are selectively reabsorbed as the urine flows along the tube. Okay, so glucose, amino acids, salts and the water, these are the useful substances. If they are lost from the body, then harmful consequences will be there. So that is the reason they are selectively reabsorbed in different parts of the tubule, and because of this, okay, now this step prevents the loss of water, nutrients, ions from the body. Okay, and the third step in this mechanism of urine formation is secretion. So tubular cells secrete substances like hydrogen ions, potassium ions and ammonia into the filtrate. Okay, so these secretions help in maintenance of ionic and acid base balance of the body fluids. Okay, now ionic balance is maintained as well as acid base balance is maintained in the body fluids because of this third step. Okay, so this is about the answer for question number 6. Okay, there are 3 steps. The first one is glomerular filtration or ultrafiltration. The second step is selective reabsorption, and the third step is tubular secretion. Okay, now moving to the next question, that is question number 7. Normally in a healthy adult, the initial filtrate in the kidneys is about 180 liters daily. However, the volume actually excreted is only a liter or 2 a day. Why? This question can be asked for 1 mark, and the answer for this question is, though the initial filtrate formed in the kidneys in a healthy adult is about 180 liters daily, the volume actually excreted is only a liter or 2 liters a day, because the remaining filtrate is reabsorbed in the kidney tubules. So there is a selective reabsorption step. Okay, there is a selective reabsorption step, and in this selective reabsorption, as we discussed in the earlier question, okay, glucose, amino acids, okay, salts, okay, and large amount of water, they are reabsorbed. So because of this, only a liter or 2 liters a day is actually excreted. Okay, so this is about question number 7 and its answer. Now moving to the next question, question number 8. What is organ transplantation? Which organs are commonly transplanted? This question can be asked for 3 marks, and the answer for this question is, okay, in organ transplantation, the organ is surgically removed from one person, that is organ donor. Okay, from a donor person, the organ is surgically removed and it is transplanted to another person who is considered as recipient. So the organ is surgically removed from donor and it is transplanted into the recipient person. Okay, so this is what we call organ transplantation. Okay, so organ is surgically removed from the donor and transplanted into recipient. Okay, if recipient is suffering from kidney failure, then this is one of the strategy of improving the condition of the patient. Okay, Which organs are commonly transplanted? So, common transplantations include corneas present in the eye, kidneys, heart, liver, pancreas, lungs, intestines, and bone marrow. So, these are the commonly transplanted organs in humans. Dear students, this is all about today's video. If you are new to my channel, subscribe for more videos. If you liked it, share it with your friends. I'll be back with many more videos containing important questions for board exams. Have a great day. Thank you all.